lady, I hereby call this brief and limited meeting of your State Board of Elections to order. I will ask Madam Secretary to call the roll to establish a quorum, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right then. Chairman O'Bannon.
Present.
Vice Chair Dance.
Present.
Delegate Merricks.
Present.
Mr. Weinstein.
Here.
Secretary Elvis Long here.
Great, thank you. I appreciate everybody attending on such short notice. As the agenda states, this is a very limited meeting. We do not have provisions for minutes nor for public comment on this issue, but we'll have those fully available at our next regularly scheduled meeting. Mr. Abel, would you present the order of the business for today, please?
Chairman O'Bannon, Vice Chairwoman Dance, State Board members, Commissioner Council. Yes, sir. Matthew Abel, Election Services Senior Advisor. The agenda item is simple, as the chairman stated. I'll read the background on the memo you all have, which is that during the 2024 session of the General Assembly, the governor signed into law Senate Bill 364. It's now Virginia Acts of Assembly, Chapter 787, which permits current and former state and local election officials, their employees, or electors of the Commonwealth for president and vice president to register as protected voters. Acts of Assembly, Chapter 787 shall be effective July 1st, 2024, and permits those individuals listed to provide P.O. boxes upon registering to vote. The P.O. box is furnished in lieu of their residential address on any list required to be provided under Title 24.2. As we stated in the last meeting, there is significant amount of time is required to ensure the updated voter registration application be translated, printed, and distributed to the localities by July 1 effective date. Therefore, elect is presenting this amended application for the state board's approval.
All right, thank you. Any members? So this is required as a result of this General Assembly session and this very last piece of legislation, which will go into effect July 1. Any members of the board have any questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Just curious, for a former officer of election or a current one that is already registered to vote, how do they change their address so that it would be a P.O. box and not their mailing address?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Matthew?
Yes, sir. Sorry, Chairman O'Bannon. So, Secretary Elvis Long, so they will utilize this form. This form will not be effective until July 1. So on July 1st, they will have access to this. Now, this is the approval of the paper voter registration application, but obviously you'll see ripple effects through the Department of Elections online citizen portal. This will be, as Chairman O'Bannon stated, this will become law July 1.
Right.
And so, yes, ma'am, they'll have the opportunity July 1st to utilize the form, provide their residence address to complete the application. All protected voters still provide their their address where they are physically registered, and then are permitted to utilize the P.O. box to hide or mask their residence address for the lists that the department and the General Assembly is deemed fit to allow for the sale of registered voter data, lists of those who voted, those sorts of things, where that address will be displayed as a P.O. box.
Okay. And where do they get that P.O. box address?
So they would go to their local United States Postal Service office. It obviously is a pay form. You're not issued one free of charge. So there is a cost factor involved with this. So, but yes, ma'am, you pay for a P.O. box, you acquire a key, or however the United States Postal Service does, so that your mail still, again, going to your residence is collected in your P.O. box where you pull it. And anyway, it very typically as you would for any one individual that has or abandon a PO box. It's all through their United States Postal Service.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Mr. Chair, I just have a clarification. May I
yes,
speak?
ma'am.
Okay,
Madam Vice Chair?
thank you. Mr. Abel, then what you're pretty much saying is that this is an option for us by serving on this committee. If we feel that there is some threat or some sense of uncomfortableness, we can utilize a PO box. But if not, we are not concerned, business as usual. Is that correct?
Very well stated, Madam
Yeah.
Vice Chairwoman. You have the option. This is not a requirement program. This is personal choice to hide or obscure where you reside for all the right reasons. So yes, ma'am, if you are so inclined, right, this is an expansive program and an ever-growing program that continues to be revised for those that seek protection of privacy. And so, yes, if you wished, again, after or on July 1st of this year, you could re-register with the ability to actually use this protection. But it is your choice. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. That's it. Mr.
Basically,
Chair.
basically, it allows you to do that, but you have to provide your own PO box number, address. All right. Mr. Weinstein, did you have any other thoughts?
No, this is super helpful. And I think just to put a finer point where Georgia was saying, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Abel, if someone wanted to do this, they could either update the registration by filling out the form and going to the registrar's office or doing it online, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Correct. This will ripple to the online citizen portal. As of July 1, this becomes law. And so everyone that so chooses to execute the law will have permission to do so. So it will ripple. This is to approve a state board of elections approved paper form. So yes, that will happen, as will all other aspects of this for that protection. So yes, sir. I think it's correctly stated.
Great. Delegate Merrick, you have anything you want to say? All right. Silence gives consent. Absent further discussion, I'd appreciate a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that the
Yes,
State
ma'am.
Board of, I move that the State Board of Elections approve the amended Virginia voter registration application pursuant to the acts of the General Assembly, Chapter 787, to be effective July 1st, 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, sir. Madam Secretary, please call a roll.
Yes, sir. Chairman O'Bannon,
Aye.
Vice Chair Dance,
Aye.
Delegate Merricks. Delegate Merricks. Mr. Weinstein,
Aye.
Secretary Elvis Long, aye.
All right. We have a quorum. We have a vote. So I think that is a useful conclusion to this piece of business in this limited meeting. I appreciate Ms. Beals being there and also Council Polio. And if you all have any comments, that would be the time to make them. All right. If there's no other business, I want to thank everybody for doing this and look forward to seeing you all at our next meeting later this month.
Mr. Chair, I move for adjournment.
Yeah. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition, say no, please. You can count that as unanimous then. All right, thank you all so much. I'm sorry to require this, but it was necessary. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.